A question from Jim Williams, Zenger International News Service, Washington, D.C. How do you respond to those who criticize Israel for not following the rules of war when Hamas, a terrorist organization, hasn't followed any rules thus far, including the ones they agreed to in the pause for the hostage deal?
The Israeli army is acting in accordance with the highest standards of international law under the laws of armed conflict. We are constantly innovating new ways to protect civilians from the decisions of their own leaders to try to keep them in harm's way as human shields, as we're seeing with the Human Shield hotline that we opened for Palestinians to report being held as human shields, as we see with that incredibly detailed map that the IDF has published. We are putting in place efforts that no army in the history of warfare has made in the context of counter-terrorism wars in urban areas to keep civilians safe. And we do this in a reality in which, as you note, the enemy has no regard not only for international humanitarian law, but for basic norms of humanity as well, and continues to perpetrate a double war crime, launching indiscriminate attacks against our civilians while hiding behind their own civilians. But despite Hamas's cynical disregard for international law and human values, we will continue to uphold the highest standards of the laws of armed conflict.
Question from Kieran Monk's The Eye newspaper. Can you tell us anything about reports that the IDF believes it's getting closer to finding Hamas leader Sinwar? And how important would this be to the goal of destroying Hamas?
If the IDF were closing in on Yahya Sinwar, I wouldn't reveal that to him live in this press conference. As we've said, every Hamas terrorist is a dead man walking. Our goal in this war is to bring to justice all of the monsters involved in the October 7th massacre and planning a new one, from the top masterminds all the way to the lowest foot soldiers. And our war will end with the end of Hamas and destruction of its governing and military capabilities inside the Gaza Strip.